Come join Melissa and her guests on the Chats from the Blog Cabin podcast. From North Carolina, this podcast will have you feeling like you've known these folks for years. Listen in as they chat about life, culture, current events, and more, all with a special Southern flair. Curl up with your favorite beverage and get ready to be entertained. Tune in now for a unique experience that's fun and insightful.
Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Chats from the Blog Cabin. I don't think I've been more excited to have a guest on the show than I am today, even though I really would be excited if your wife joined us, John. But John from Bravo Steaks, Bravo Cattle is here. So tell us a little about yourself, John.
Sure. I guess John Barnes grew up in Wilson County, not too far from you. So I grew up in Eastern North Carolina and just always have enjoyed agriculture, especially when it comes to livestock. And so throughout, I guess, college and my career has always been focused on livestock, as well as with my wife, Emily. And so probably since we got married almost 10 years ago, we've always worked towards trying to farm full time and finding a way to do that. Both of us are, I guess, technically first generation farmers. And so we started everything from scratch, all of our businesses. And so it's been fun and rewarding. And like Melissa said, we own Bravo Steaks, which is a direct to consumer beef and pork business. So we raise cattle and pigs and sell beef and pork nationwide. Anywhere UPS can go or goes, we can go. So that's Bravo Steaks. And then we also have Bravo Cattle. And Bravo Cattle is more of our, I guess, breeding side to the cattle and the pigs. We raise registered Angus cattle. And we do some, I guess, some custom services when it comes to livestock breeding and genetics. And then we also raise purebred Berkshire hogs. And everything kind of funnels from Bravo Cattle to Bravo Steaks. And we hope to provide a quality product to our customers. So.
And I will totally say that you do provide a quality product to your customers because, you know, we've been longtime customers. When did you actually first start Bravo Steaks?
Yeah, we started, it was the spring of 2019, I believe. So it was like the year before COVID hit. So I think that's right. Spring of 2019.
I don't know exactly when we started being your customers. I don't know how I found you. I know I found you on Instagram. You can give a big shout out to your wife, Emily, for that, because I found you on Instagram.
Right.
And I think we've been with you pretty much since the beginning.
I think so. I think you were one of the originals. So we, it means a lot that, you know, we have customers that get involved with, I guess, our story, and Instagram is definitely a avenue for that. And it's just amazing what, I guess, social media, there is a lot of good to social media and what it can do to small businesses. And we're just thankful for your continued support and all the other support that we get throughout the years. So being a first generation farmer, starting from scratch and really building a business from the ground up, that support really means a lot.
Yeah. So let's talk about being a first generation farmer. What made you and Emily decide to go for this full time? Because I know you both have ag backgrounds.
Right. Yep. So I guess that's kind of a two-part question maybe, but when we always had the goal to farm full time. That was what we wanted to do. That's what we love to do. I guess that's what our passion is and was. And so we just tried to find any way we can to really make that work. We both had, I guess, full-time jobs. I worked in the corporate world on the genetic side with cattle, and then Emily worked in the, I guess, healthcare industry. And so we had full-time jobs, but when we came home in the evenings and on the weekends, we were fully focused on raising cattle. And then I guess to jump to being a full-time on the farm, I guess I was kind of pushed that way, working for a corporate company that was going through a merger, and really the focus of that company was in the Midwest, and so when it came to the merger and all that with the corporate world, they kind of cut off the East and the West Coast territories, and so I was on the East Coast, and my job got eliminated, and so that made me take the deep dive to farming full time and finding ways to make it work. And then as we continued to grow, and Bravo Steaks was actually kind of Emily's, I guess, project, and it turned into with social media and marketing. It really took off and turned into kind of a full time job for her. So we're very fortunate to be able to both become full time farmers, and yeah, so kind of living the dream. So
I mean, let's talk about how much love and care that you put into your animals that you raise, because anybody that watches your Instagram stories, I mean, Emily, especially when she talks about the good, the bad, and the ugly,
right.
she shares I think every part of your company, she shares every part of your day to day. She
Sure.
shares. Let's talk about how much love and care that you put into.
Yeah, so I guess we try to be as transparent as we possibly can on our social media, Instagram, Facebook, and I think that really it just shows real life and what we go through, and hopefully we can illustrate and show that we really truly care about the cattle and the pigs that we raise and our dogs and whatever else might come our way. But yeah, and it's really important to us to be good stewards of the livestock and the land. And you know, some people probably think we're obsessive about it, but and we are. We wake up every morning, and our top priority before we even think about really our own needs is taking care of the livestock, and whatever might come our way with it. There's always challenges, but no matter how hard, you know, the challenges are during the day, or what can go wrong, or there's just days where it 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 sucks more or less. But we know that when we go to bed at night and wake up the next morning, uh, we truly are passionate about raising livestock the best of our ability, and we wake up and we tie our shoes and get back to it. And so every day, just kind of raising livestock and farming in general is just a very humbling humbling profession. You're dealing with weather, or animals that don't talk and telling you how they feel, and so it's always a challenge, but it's really our priority to make sure they're living the best lives that they can. We often say we hope they have one bad day, and that's of course the end goal to the cattle that we and the pigs that we raise for meat. They have one bad day, and until then, we hope that we can honor them and respect them, and the best life that we can, and until that day. And so we think that our customers appreciate that, and also we feel like it goes towards creating a good product as well, a quality product.
Now, what made you guys decide to be so transparent about what goes on? I mean, you're basically with your animals day to day up until I think you even show loading them on the to be sent off. What made you guys
Right.
decide to be so transparent about that?
Yeah, I guess there's there's a lot of noise out in the world, and um, we just feel like it's kind of our personalities too, and what we believe in is transparency is really the best way to get maybe not really a point, but maybe just portray what we're doing. We could use I guess labels, or all these sayings and all, but if we really just go out and show what we're doing and how we do it, uh, being just real and honest, people appreciate that, and it's just kind of real life. And so we just try to be fully transparent what we do, like you said, the good, bad, and the ugly. So days like today, I'm sure you'll probably see we turn cows out to some lush grass. Spring is hopefully here, and so that's a good feeling. Turning cattle out to graze, but then there's days where uh, you know our favorite cow, we might have to put her down, or she might pass away, or
Mhm.
just kind of life on the farm happens, and so we just try to show the good, bad, and the ugly. Not necessarily for people to like feel sorry for us, but just to know like, hey, this is what's going on. This is what happens on the farm. So, and we just take it all in stride.
Totally can tell you, I have learned a lot from just watching the social media with the videos, because she really shows pretty much everything. And you're
Yeah,
like, and sometimes she's like, John's telling me to put the camera down. I can't film anymore. I need some help. So
that's right.
how's it working with your wife?
Oh, it's most of the time it's great. There are challenges. I guess we complement each other with different our strengths and our weaknesses, and so we complement each other. Um, and there are times I'm pretty bad at just going out there doing what I need to do and not taking pictures and videos, and so she stays on me about that. And then when she's with Emily, she's the mastermind behind it all. All the
Mhm.
credit goes to her, really. And so yeah, it takes a little extra time. And at the beginning, it was kind of annoying to me. Like, come on, we got stuff to do. But really, there is a really good. It's just part of our job, and now we work that into it, and it's just part of it. And so we just kind of learn to work with each other. And then, we always said that, I always say, um, we have the ability through social media to tell our story instead of somebody else telling our story. And so there's a lot of value in that, and it comes straight from us, and not our neighbor or somebody else. So we take great pride in telling our story.
That is awesome. We need to take a brief commercial break. When we come back, I want to talk about your how important it is to buy from the farmers instead of like a big box store. So we'll be
Okay.
right back. Hey y'all, it's Melissa coming to you from the blog cabin to chat about, for a few minutes, one of my favorite conferences is coming up. It's called the Rise Up Christian Parenting Conference. Whether you feel like you've blown it as a parent, or you're not sure how to navigate the next season of parenting, or you have non-Christian family or friends telling you how to raise your kids, I don't know how many times I got that, or you simply want to be challenged, encouraged, inspired, and equipped to be the best parent you can be, then the Rise Up Parenting Conference is one that you won't want to miss. The conference runs from March 14th through the 16th, but grab your free ticket by the 13th, so on the 14th you're ready to go. And the conference runs from 10 to 2 every day. But don't worry, if you can't make it from 10 to 2, you can always catch the replays later at your own time. So this is one conference that I highly recommend that you check out, plus it's free. How many times do you have a free conference? I will put in the show notes where you can find it. Be blessed. And we are back chatting with John from Bravo Steaks, Bravo Cattle. And like I said at the beginning of the show, I stock my box, and my box actually came today, as I was like, ooh, perfect day. But let's talk about how important it is to support the local farmers, to, buy directly from local if you can.
Sure. Yeah. I think that's a good point, if you can. And, we're in America, we're very fortunate to have food pretty accessible to us, and safe food too, no matter big stores, local farmers. There's a good system with the USDA in place to make sure that we have safe food throughout the country. But when it comes to supporting local and supporting your local farmer, it really has I feel like a greater impact within your local community. For instance, so with our day-to-day business, um, we support a lot of local businesses just within our community and kind of our region. And so by buying from your local farmer, whether it's meat or produce or eggs, there's a lot of trickle down that goes throughout the community as well. So, for instance, for us, we purchase all of our hay to feed our cattle throughout the winter, and so that's usually from neighboring farmers, and so that helps them out. And then when it comes to other supplies, whether it's like diesel fuel for or gas for our trucks, the local convenience store, local hardware stores, or we've always, maintenance. There's a lot of maintenance that goes on. And so I like to go to the local hardware stores if I can. I think it's just kind of cool to go in there. Local equipment dealerships, just we can keep naming off. We do a lot of our, I guess, expenses throughout the year. A lot of that money goes towards local businesses, and so buying from a local farmer really helps the local economy. And so if you can, it's a great way to support not only one person, but kind of your community and your region. So.
Yeah, actually, we kind of support the community, your community and region when we ship to California too. They make great boxes for anniversaries and birthdays and Christmas. I'm telling you.
That's right. Yep. So we try to provide. It's a unique gift when it comes to gift giving. Especially for people people have everything they want, it seems like, and so something different. Send them a box of meat. So it's kind of cool. So and we send boxes, kind of a taste from home. We have like Eastern style barbecue, pork barbecue, and so people that live in other states, we can ship that to them, and so it's kind of a taste of home as well. So we try to do a lot of things.
Yeah. You also diversify a little bit. You not only do you sell the meat direct to the consumer, the beef and the pork, but you also do other different things. Like you also sell the cows off, or like you sell the bulls or the steers, I should say, or whatever they're called,
Right.
to other people. You also raise other cows for other people as well.
That's
correct?
right. Yep.
So
And
let's talk about that.
Yeah. So starting out, the goal was to be a full-time farmer, and we had to find ways that we could justify that from a business standpoint. And so every calf that is born on our property or from our cows needed to have added value other than just kind of the typical commodity price, which that price goes up and down. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. But if we can try to find an added value to every calf born, then that really helps us achieve, I guess, achieve our financial goals. And so we do diversify a lot of things. So like you mentioned, we raise calves for people, for producers all across the country. They actually send us embryos, and our cows are surrogate mothers. And then because we have a reputation of caring and trying to raise healthy cattle, that we get paid calves for other people, and then we also have some registered Angus and Hereford cows, and so with that we sell breeding stock, whether it's bulls to other producers to use to breed cows with, or sell registered females to make replacements within their own herd. And so that's two of the buckets that our calves can fall in, and then everything else we use for Bravo steaks, and we try to add value that way through Bravo steaks. And so hopefully it all comes together and we get a little premium above just your typical market. So
let's talk about the pork too, because you also do that with the pork as well, correct? With the pigs?
Sure. Yep. So with the pigs, the Berkshire pigs. Berkshire is the breed that we raise, and it's the Berkshire breed is known for their meat quality, superior meat quality pigs, and so we raise uh, Berkshires for the pork for Bravo steaks, and then also we sell feeder pigs, kind of up and down the East Coast, and then also we sell breeding stock as well. We don't keep any males boars for breeding, but we sell gilts and sows to other people around. So yeah, so that the pigs they have definitely have an important place within our farm businesses. So.
And the breeder pigs all have unique names, correct?
That's right. Yeah. So the saying, I'll probably mess it up. Can't put lipstick on a pig. Is that right? Is
Yeah,
that how
I
the
think that's
saying
how it
goes? I
goes.
believe. And so yeah. So Emily named all the females, the sows, makeup names. So we have like CoverGirl and Maybelline and NYX, and trying to think of, she comes up, Tilly, I think is one of them. And
Mm-hmm.
yeah, they all have names. I kind of keep up with them in a different way, but yeah, most stuff, they all have makeup names.
Which
So.
I thought was funny last week. I think it was last weekend. You guys were in a Target or Walmart, and she was showing a video of you at the makeup aisle, like
That's
doing what is it? Doing research for future names.
yeah. She was looking for some kind of makeup, and I was just so happened to be with her, and it's the first time I've been to Target in forever. But yeah, there was CoverGirl and Maybelline and NYX and uh, all kinds of names. I have to go back and write them down. But yeah, it's pretty funny.
Now there are a few farm favorites that are just kind of one is not a beef cow, but a dairy cow. Now I have to bring rhubarb in there because she's
Oh
a
yeah,
farm favorite. But she serves a purpose as well. She's not just she is a pet. She is the queen, I think, of the farm, but
she
she serves a purpose as well.
she does. She's we call her the queen, a yard ornament. She's high drama, but Rhubarb is a Jersey cow, and we bought bought her for to raise like orphan calves. Um, if a cow calves and has twins, and she only wants one, or if for uh, the reason we bought her, we had a cow calf, and the cow passed away shortly after, and so. Rhubarb will raise any calf that you give her, and so she because she's a Jersey, she produces a lot of milk, and so she can raise two calves at one time, and they'll grow and do do a phenomenal job. And but yeah, she does serve her purpose, a very good purpose for us, but she also brings along a lot of drama too. So but she's kind of a star, a celebrity. So.
Yeah. But there's also you have a favorite cow, don't you?
Oh yeah, probably Chai. We're
Yeah,
behind you. Yeah.
right behind me.
So yeah, Chai. I hauled her, broke her when she was. She actually tried to sell her at a sale, and it didn't work out, and so maybe it was meant to be. And so she's still around, and you can go to the pasture and rub on her and lay on her, and she's a real good pet, and so she she has a special place. We have a lot of cows that we're around them all the time, and so they all have different personalities, and
Mm-hmm.
we'll nickname them after TV personalities, or we might say, oh, like we have an old cow, we call her Geraldine because it sounds like an old lady name, and so they all have, a lot of them have nicknames, and they're pretty calm too. So a lot of them you can scratch, and but yeah, it's we kind of live in their world, it seems like, and, and so we have a lot of fun with them.
But you also diversify other ways as well. I think probably Emily's the mastermind behind this. One is the canvas prints that you guys did. Another one is the hats. You're wearing a hat right now.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
and your candles and your what is it, lip balm
We have soap, yeah.
and your
So,
soaps. I mean, you diversify. How did you guys come up with deciding to do all this different stuff?
yeah, I guess diversifying is kind of just a central key to uh, just continue to add value to our business. And a lot of those things like the candles and the lip balm and the soap, they're all derived from byproducts of what we get from the butchering process. And so uh, we try to make it a goal to use as much of the animal as we can. We feel like that's kind of a responsible thing to do. And so when the cattle and pigs are butchered, we get just fat back. And so that fat can be rendered down into tallow. Beef fat would be tallow, and then pork fat would be lard. So you can cook with lard, or you can make all kinds of things with it. And so with the lard, we get soap, artisan soap made. And actually, it's one of my favorites. It's kind of a joke at the beginning, but now I use the soap every night to bathe with and wash my hands with, and so it's actually really good stuff. And then we tried some lip balm and all kinds of things. And then with the beef tallow, we make or Emily, you're right. Emily's the mastermind behind it all, but she makes candles out of the tallow. So it's beef tallow candles, different scents, and so the candles and the soap have been pretty popular items. And so yeah, we just uh, before I guess we didn't receive the fat back, and so we asked about it, and we got it back. We're already paying for it anyway, so we got it back, and we're able to make all kinds of stuff with it. And so yeah, really a lot of purposes.
Yeah. So take us through a typical day. What time do you get up? Because I know this morning I got the email confirming our interview today at like 6:40, 6:45. So take us through a typical day of what you do.
Yeah, it changes every day. I guess being I guess self-employed, you can kind of do whatever you want to, if you know, to a certain extent. And so some days I'm up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and some days it might be 8 o'clock before I get out. And the temperature has a lot to do with it. The colder mornings, I kind of don't like to go outside. I'm not as eager to go outside, but yeah, it all depends. And really, it all comes down to what's going on that day on the farm. And so uh, that's probably the most difficult question to ask, because we don't know. So typically though, like it's seasonal, and so in the fall is when all of our calves are born. And so really I check the calving cows every 3 hours. So during the day that's not that big of a deal, but at night I try to check them at least 2 or 3 times during the night. And so there's times I'm up 24 hours in a day and can still continue to work. So it all depends. So calving season is a sleep deprived time of the year. And then when piglets are being born, I like to just kind of keep a close eye on them just to make sure there's not any issues. And so when a cow calves, it's usually like an hour and a half and she's done. She has one calf. But pigs, they could have 10 to 15 piglets, and so that takes some time, usually 3 to 4 hours. And so yeah, and it's just every day is different. There's things through every day that are consistent for like chores. We do chores usually starting around 7:30 in the morning, and then again starting around 5 o'clock in the evening we do another round of chores just to check on everybody. But throughout the day, it could be calving cows, it could be breeding cows, it could be hauling hay. In the summertime, we say it's a little more laid back because the cattle are grazing grass and not not too much going on, but we're always busy. So, and then that's just on the taking care of the livestock side. And then on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, we ship out
Mm.
meat. And so um, we have a subscription box, and usually that's the first of the month. And so that's when a lot of our orders go out. And so a couple of days leading up to the first Tuesday, I'm going to say that wrong. It's usually the first Tuesday in the month. We're pulling meat, gathering orders, and so that takes up a lot of time. And so, yeah, it's every day is different, and every day is a hustle. So, but yeah, there's times where it's a little more mainstream, I guess, from a standard work day, might 7 to 5, but then there's days where it's 4 to midnight. So
Mm.
it's crazy.
Now you
So
Now you brought up the co-op boxes, and I noticed yesterday that you said Emily said, not you said, Emily said that your driver, your UPS driver came up. Do you have the same driver every time? And does he come with an empty truck?
he does. We kind of share two drivers. We're right on, I guess, their territory line of the routes they take. So I think it all depends on, I guess, their route each week. But typically it's the same two drivers, and so they'll go do their normal routine, their normal route, and then at the end of the day, before they head back to their terminal, they have an empty truck, and so they come and we fill it up, and then it's usually around like 5 o'clock when they come, and then they take it straight to their terminal base in Greensboro, and it's amazing how fast it got to you. I mean,
Yeah,
because they have to sort it and do all that, and so yeah, it's quite the process. It's fascinating, really. So
I think ours got here like at 10 this morning, a little bit before 10 this morning.
okay, wow,
So it's like, wow.
right,
But let's talk about that, because that takes a lot of time and effort to go through and pack all these boxes, and then you have to slap the label on them. Is it just you and Emily packing the boxes, or do you have outside help?
yeah, it's just us two, and
Whew.
so uh, yeah, we don't have any outside help. Crazy as it sounds, in the summer we might have an intern or high school kid that might come help out a couple of days a week. Um, but yeah, it's just us two, and it does. So especially on like the subscription weeks, we try to start Sunday afternoons, maybe Saturdays, to try to get the orders pulled and really organized. And then really, like yesterday, we were pretty much done by 1 o'clock, packing boxes. So if we can spend a couple of days ahead of time organizing
Mhm.
everybody's order, then the day of it goes by pretty efficiently. So, but yeah, it's here's times we're tired at night. So
Imagine. Now, take us through the steps by steps. You get the meat back from the butcher, and you have two different butchers that you use, correct? Or no?
yeah, we use 3 or 4 butchers. So
Okay.
it the way well, COVID changed a lot of things, but when it came to the butchering process, COVID, uh, the I guess appointment availability for the butchers, people went crazy getting appointments, and so it's still pretty crazy. We have a lot of dates on the books a year in advance, and so
Wow.
we're pretty centrally located to a handful of butchers, and so we use uh, 3 or 4 in the area. Yeah, so we'll we'll get the meat back, and then it's all in boxes, and we have a walk-in freezer where we store the meat, and then we'll go in and try to organize by different cuts, whether steaks or roast or sausages, bacon, that kind of thing, and so we have an idea of where it's at, and then yeah, so when it comes to as far as an order, somebody makes an order, we know what they want, and then we just have to go in to our freezer, pick that order, and organize it. And then the day of, like a Tuesday, we'll take that order, and we have boxes, insulated boxes that we'll pack the order in, and we ship it with about 5 pounds of dry ice, and that way it stays frozen until it reaches the destination. So usually it's either overnight or 2-day shipping, and so the meat will stay frozen that whole time with the dry ice. And so yeah, you get frozen meat, you can put it right into your freezer, and it's good to go. So
yeah, it's good to go. I already got the steaks and the chorizo out thawing already in the refrigerator, ready for next couple of days, because the chorizo my husband loves, and he's from Mexico.
Yeah,
And the palate for chorizo is really high. So for the fact he loves your chorizo so much,
that's good. I'm glad to hear it. It is good stuff. So I know we're biased, but it's good stuff. So.
Now I want to bring up a conversation that you and I had, because I met you once in person. And I asked you when you guys are going to raise chickens, and you said the funniest thing. Do you remember what you said to me?
There's no telling.
You said, I don't eat chickens, so why would you raise them? Because you said the only thing you eat is beef and pork.
That's 90% true. Eggs. I guess we would have chickens for eggs, but we have neighbors that have chickens, and so we just get eggs from our neighbors, and it's a lot simpler process. But yeah, honestly, people think we're crazy, but we have freezers full of beef and pork, and we don't eat a lot of chicken. There's nothing wrong with chicken, but Chick-fil-A and Costco has, I think they're called Bare Naked chicken, maybe, and it's like chicken nuggets, chicken tenders, and for a quick meal at night, we'll cook them, and they're actually really tasty. But we do eat grilled chicken every once in a while, but yeah, very, very seldom do we have chicken. It's all beef and pork. So
which brings me to the next question. How do you guys find time to cook with all the chores and everything going on? It seems like every time I open up social media, Emily has got a meal that she has cooked or you guys have cooked together. And it's like pretty much from scratch, basically.
Yeah. She does a lot of planning, I guess. And we know when our busy days are. So we kind of have our normals, I guess, what we eat throughout the week. And we do try things from time to time when we might have a little extra time at night. But we eat a lot of ground beef, whether it's like tacos or burritos. I guess Mexican nights are one of our favorite nights, nachos. But we eat burgers a lot of ground beef, just so versatile of a meat product, and we have a lot of it. So but then there are times where we have steak and pork chops or breakfast for supper. So yeah, it's she's always planning out ahead of time what we're going to have, so that helps out. But
I mean, I'm lucky. I stay at home most of the time, and I'm lucky if I can get dinner on the table. And she's getting a homemade from scratch one. I'm like, man.
Yeah, a lot of times when I start chores, she'll start cooking dinner, so it kind of works out. So
now you guys have run into some difficulties since 2019, since you've started a farm. Originally, you were in the Fayetteville area. Is that where you first started, right? Correct. Because I think that's when I started following you, is the Fayetteville. Because like, oh, they're local. They're in Fayetteville. They're right down the road. And then you moved to like South Carolina, Charlotte, that kind of area. And then you were over here in Greensboro. Is it because... I'm trying to think of the right way I know you had difficulty with the South Carolina, and I don't want to get into that because that's like or under the bridge. But you wanted to have a place where all your animals were together. Let's talk about that first time that you started farming in Fayetteville, when your animals were like spread out like 30 miles away, down one way and down the other. Because I can remember following on the road when you guys would go. to feed the
Right.
cattle or check on the cows?
Yeah. I guess being first generation farmers, we didn't have any land to really start our farm on, and so buying land, especially in North Carolina, is just crazy expensive, and so it really doesn't work out when you're first starting out. And so we started leasing land, and leasing land, especially pasture land, is very difficult to find if you can find it. And so I kind of beat every bush I could find, talking with neighbors and abandoned properties. That's usually what we get is abandoned properties, and so we have to do a total rehab on it. And so in Fayetteville, when we started with one property, and that kind of led to a few other properties, but it was like a 30-mile radius between 7 or 8 properties, and so we spent a lot of time on the road. It really wasn't that efficient, but it's how we started, and we were able to build our businesses that way. And then we came across an opportunity to lease one farm that was a few hundred acres all in one spot, which was, gold mine, dream come true type of deal. Too good to be true, and it kind of was. And so that we moved to that property, and it kind of turned out to be a bad deal. And so we just found another landing place, and so now we're just north of Greensboro, and we've got a good landlord up here that we lease some cow pasture from. And so I mean, things work out. You go through tough times and just try to keep one foot in front of the other and your head held high. And so that's what we did. And we came out, we feel like, on the better side. And so a lot of the past year and a half to Greensboro area, there's been a lot of things that have happened for our farm and personal lives that never would have happened if we were still south of Charlotte. And so we're very thankful to be in this area, and things have worked out, and so it's been a good change. So yeah.
And plus,
but we're just scrappy, and that's just part of it. We're just scrappy, and it all comes back to living our dream. So
plus Emily's from around that area in Guilford County, correct? So she's
that's right.
closer to Emily's family. You're a little bit further away from yours, but you're closer
Right.
to
Yeah, that's right.
Because my middle daughter lives in Greensboro, so I know the area.
Okay. All right. Very good.
So there's another thing that I've noticed on your social media is that you also plant I don't want to say grass, but maybe it is grass for your animals to feed off of. And you make sure that you're putting the right crop in for for the cows to feed off of. Correct? You make sure it's right for the soil as well as right for the animals. Let's talk about
That's right.
that.
Yeah. So in an ideal, perfect world, we would want to graze year round. Really buying hay and extra supplements, protein supplements during the wintertime gets real expensive. And so if we can graze more days out of the year, it really helps us from an expense side of things. And so we just try to work with nature. There's different grasses and that grow different times of the year. So warm season grasses, cool season grasses. The pasture that we lease has a mix of warm season and cool season grasses, perennial grasses. So like fescue would be a cool season grass that grows in the fall and spring. And then we have like crabgrass, Bermuda grass that grows in the summertime when it's really hot. And so, but then we can also plant annuals every year that provide some gap between the fescue, the warm season and cool season grasses. And so, and to give a little extra forage for them to have. So in the fall, we'll plant rye and oats and some clover. And so that'll start growing in the fall, and it'll grow throughout the winter. And so it allows us to graze later into the year and earlier in the year. And then in the summertime, we can plant other things as well. Um, Other warm season annuals like millet or milo, Sudan grass, things like that, kind of just works with the temperature and nature, and just we try to provide forage as much as we can throughout the year. And so, and a lot of things that we plant has benefits for the soil, for soil health. So like the clover, like I mentioned, actually clover has a nitrogen fixation characteristics where it can produce nitrogen through the CO2 in the air. And so that helps grow more, I guess, more forage. And clover is really nutritious, and so it's really good for cattle and calves. And then we also plant like turnips and radishes. And so what that does is turnips really grows deep into the ground, and so it breaks up the ground, it reduces compaction, and then also it'll provide, when it rots, it'll provide phosphorus and potassium for the soil. And so we just try to continue to build organic matter within our pastures, and it really makes just a really healthy and diverse culture within your pastures. And so wildlife enjoy it, the cattle enjoy it, earthworms enjoy it. So it's it's pretty cool. And then when we do feed hay, we do have to feed hay, and we try to roll the hay out in different spots instead of feeding in one spot. And so by rolling the hay out, the cattle all have kind of an equal chance to eat. Their manure is spreading around throughout the pasture, which is free fertilizer. And then also whatever hay is left over is just more organic matter. And so that continues to build as that decays. And so, yeah, we try to be one with nature and really try to make a pretty diverse ecosystem.
Now, you mentioned earlier about the Bravo Co-op box. Explain to people what exactly it is, because I know you guys just started something new where you have 2 different size boxes now.
That's right. Yeah, the Bravo Co-op box is our subscription box, and so that box you can order it to get it every 4, 8, or 12 weeks, and then within that you can get 2 different sizes, kind of a small box and a larger box, depending on how much meat you eat or what duration you want. And so it's just a subscription box. 2 ways you can do it. You can have us pick what you get each month, or we have Emily created a new system where you can go through and pick different items that you want, and so you can customize your own box. And so you can get a box every 4, 8, or 12 weeks, and it ships right to your door. So we're always trying to improve that process too, to add customization for the boxes or different sizes to see what people really latch on to, different price points. And so, it's always evolving, but we've really focused on that, and it's been a good thing for us.
And you also have specials that you run pretty much. Like you had one that was a chili special, one was I think hamburger, a whole bunch of ground beef. And then sometimes Emily will throw in like a recipe book or something else in there.
That's right. Yep. From time to time we do like weekly specials or monthly specials. Could be like a taco box or a grilling box. Different. She comes up with all kinds of things. And then we do have like recipe cards, recipe books that there's people out there that don't know really how to cook. And so and people like to order meat and figure out how to cook. So we always try to provide many options to our customers, and hopefully they get get a value from buying from us.
And I will say, if there's something that Emily cooks on Instagram and it's not in the recipe book, she will share the recipe. Because I remember she made, I think, the holy moly chili, which tastes like
Oh
moly
yeah.
sauce. And I said, I have to try that because moly is my absolute favorite. And it's so much work, but it's such a good chili.
Right, it is. It really is. Yeah.
So our time is almost up, John. Before we talk about where people can find you at, is there one last little nugget that you would like people to know about either cattle farming or supporting local farmers, or any words of wisdom that you want, or for the naysayers out there too as well?
Yeah. I guess. I guess we can all go on little tangents, but no, I think uh, uh, we are fortunate to have safe and food within our country, and then as far as local farms, it's uh, farming, agriculture in general is very good for the local economy, like we mentioned, and I think a lot of people don't really realize that, and buying from your local farmer or your neighbor farmer or one within your region really does help out the local economy quite a bit. And so I think it's just part, important part of the world we live in. And so, yeah, I think there's a lot of noise out there, but we like to surround ourselves by people who care about care about what they're doing, the land, their livestock, their craft. It doesn't necessarily have to be in farming, but their craft, and just we've learned to surround yourself with good people, and you're always in a better place. So we're just fortunate for or to have our customers and our followers, and we're really take pride in trying to tell our story and provide a quality product. So
Yep, and it is a quality product. I will say that much. And even the ones in California love it. I mean, they have a request. I'm like, okay, I'm asking. I'm gonna put in. What do you want? And then like Emily come back with like 3 different options for them to choose. And they're like, well, we like that, but can we get more chorizo, or can we get more steaks or something? So it is a quality product.
Sure.
So let's talk about where people can find, first of all, if they want to, or if they're interested in buying cattle from you, or buying like the pigs that you sell. Where would they go for that first?
Yeah, really, probably the best way would be Facebook or Instagram. Look up Bravo Cattle on Facebook or Instagram, or his email address is bravocattle at gmail.com. Our website is bravocattlellc.com. And so you can find our info there. My phone number should be all over the place. So yeah, just give me a call or shoot me a text, and that's probably the easiest way to get up with me. So
and then if they want to order from any beef or pork products or candles or soap or hats or whatever else you have on your website, because I've lost track of how many new items you've come out with in the last year. But if they want to order from you, where should they go?
Yeah, so order our products at bravosteaks.com. And that's our Shopify store that you can see everything that we have. If you want to follow along on social media, Instagram, we kind of gravitate towards Instagram, but I think Instagram and Facebook kind of all merge anyway, so it's all the same content. So look up Bravo Steaks on Instagram, and there's tons of saved content on there that you can look back and see what's going on, and Emily tries to update that most days of the week, and so there's always all kinds of things on there that you can check out. So
yeah, you have, not only do they have cows and pigs, but they also have 2 adorable dogs and a cat.
Right. Yep.
So you can't leave them out because they're a big part of the farm too.
They are. They're our stress relief. We like to I don't know, something about ending the day with a couple of dogs and just relaxing is it's good. It makes a good life. So
Well, John, I want to thank you so much for coming on and for sharing about Bravo. I mean, I've learned so much just following on Instagram. And I think a lot of people, if they go on Instagram and just follow along on the stories, you guys are so transparent. And sometimes Emily puts you in front of the camera and makes you do the, like, okay, I'm tired of talking. Here, you do it. And I think today she's like, okay, because I had asked her before to come on and she's like, no, I don't do very well with just talking. But yeah, John would be perfect. And I think she just kind of pushed you into doing it, correct?
oh yeah, I'm willing. So yeah, I'm glad to. Thanks for the invitation and glad to chat with you today. So I've enjoyed it.
So guys,
and we appreciate your continued support. So
continue. I mean,
it means a lot.
I think we started ordering, you're right around COVID time. I think it was because when the grocery stores started the beef shortage, I'm like, why don't I just order from them instead? Do you remember when that COVID hit and there was the grocery stores were empty? I think that's when we started ordering.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a while. So guys, I will put in the show notes where you can find everything, where you can find John, where you can find the antics on the farm as well, because you will want to follow his social media, because not only are they informative, they're entertaining as well. Especially if you go and watch anything with the rhubarb. She's hilarious. She's one of my favorites, but Chai back here behind me is my absolute favorite, because I don't know, it's just something about the color. Her color is just so gorgeous. But I will put everything in the show notes, and be blessed. And most importantly, keep chatting and be informed about what you're doing, and don't listen to what some of the naysayers out there. So we'll see you on the next Chats from the Blog Cabin. Bye.